welcome back to my channel. Whether I will actually be able to upload this video, who knows, because I've actually tried to film this a couple of times, but I have mentioned a couple of times that I've just been dealing with some stuff, let's just leave it like that, recently. And I want to talk about how I feel like God has calls us to be authentic in ourselves. Hopefully I can find a note that helped me last time to film this when I didn't get a chance of finishing it. I just feel like I always like to emphasise when I talk about stuff how I feel like it's so important to go down your own path, regardless of what that is. Not that I would advocate negative, toxic behaviour by anyone, but I think, you know, you do you, so I'm not in control of anyone, but like I'm not advocating that, but I'm saying you can only do things in the world that, you know, you can only be the change you want to see in the world, or be the change for yourself that you need by being it yourself. I'm seeing more and more how outward appearance means nothing. Like even in the Bible it says God does not look at the outward appearance, he looks at the heart. And I'm seeing more and more that how truthful that is, and how it's so important to be in touch, not only in touch with your inner self. I'm seeing how important it is, even from like an inner child healing, how you can, you know, process your emotions, and it can make such a difference to your overall mindset, mental health, belief system, outward behaviour, life going forward, outlook, everything. And it's really amazing. I personally have spent a lot of time in prayer, a lot of time writing prayers on my laptop. That's kind of my way of journaling. I think journaling is different to praying, 100%, but I've gone through a lot of stressful things recently, and I feel like praying is great for me. Whether that's your thing or not, I don't know. It's not really a case of I'm trying to necessarily advocate. I might advocate a couple of things that have helped me to be more authentic. I think I've always been quite good at being in touch with my authentic self, and I suppose we all are at a core level. I think it's things that get in the way, social conditioning, expectations, trauma. I always bring up trauma, you know, fear, trapped emotion, all that jazz that kind of gets in the way of authenticity. But I think you are the you know, as much as I wouldn't say you're a captain of your own life, but I think it says in the Bible and stuff like that, where I'm finding God is in control. I think for me it's a case of relinquishing control of life, or perceived control, that God has his plan anyway. That's helping me a lot in life at the moment. That I'm not saying like you should live in fatalism. By fatalism I mean, oh, there's no point even trying because, like, you know, life, we have free will. But I think in terms of things that happen to you, you can't avoid the bad things that happen to you. I think it's just a case of like God has control at the end of the day. I see that we've moved into a new astrological era. It doesn't condone astrology in the Bible, I should say. But I do think that God is a massively more powerful, obviously, entity than astrology. Like, he's more powerful than planets, if you like. That makes sense. And sometimes I forget that it's a nice image, and I think it says in the Bible that he takes us under his wing. And I have this visualization of God's wing and us sort of being, you know, attached to it in certain areas, because I like to think of how when we progress through an area and we transcend an area and we've sort of like grown to the person that he wants us to mold us into, because he is the potter and we are the clay, that we kind of sort of attach to his wing and it kind of secures us there. And that's just a nice little thought, and it makes me feel like I'm adulting and that I'm sort of like doing life okay when I feel that that's happening. And it also kind of is like, you can't ruin your progress. Like anything that happens, like you're not gonna like completely, you know, it's not gonna send, it might send you a couple of steps backwards, because life is never linear anyway. You know, healing from stuff's not linear. You know, happy periods aren't linear. You can have a really happy day and then have like a really bad event that happens and it can just really like knock you for six. you know, or you can just have a mediocre day, or you can, you know, not like this. But you know, life has ups and downs, and that's just the way it goes. I think along the same vein, I kind of do touch on sort of like toxicity on my channel as well. I feel like we're not designed to take hate and toxicity as well, which obviously I think we live in a world where not only it's full of different people and people that are not necessarily of good influence, because not everyone is saved, if you ask me, and you know, they will do things that are, you know, really bad, and we're not designed to take hate as human beings. We're, you know, I always like to see that human beings have a set form, right? When someone's really like, you know, nasty, demonic, whatever you want to call it, personality disorder that is causing you a lot of harm. I'm not saying all personality disorders people are demonic, not at all. If you've got personality disorder, I'm not trying to say that you're a bad person. I reckon I've got borderline traits, just saying. But I feel like when people really go out their way to be really overly nasty to you, if they're like, you know, really causing you issues, I see that as a deviation from the human form. I see that as an ego deviation for some related issue that they might have. And as a human being, not only are you not responsible, I've been very focused on not being responsible for other people's negativity and like pain that they inflict, but on top of that, it's a case of we're not even designed to. We shouldn't be comfortable with it. Like, you know, I think it's one thing being resilient to take knocks of life, but you shouldn't ever get used to abuse, like, and negativity and toxicity. Like, you know, we all have to be in that situation to some extent. I feel like even if it's friends of friends or relationships of friends or work situations, unfortunately, and bosses and blah blah blah, where you do have to interact with people that are through all, you know, basic understanding, through my eyes, at least, unhealthy, and that inflict harm, that have joy in taking harm. I can go that far as to say people that have materialism and you know, people that really actually take pleasure in causing other people discomfort and sadness and negative emotion, for various reasons, to feel that they have leverage on them, bring them down to their level, you know, whatever. There's a lot of reasons why people do it. I'd love to do more videos on narcissism and toxicity. I have a lot of notes on that, which I've been learning through. But anyone who convinces you to deviate from your authentic feeling, your authentic self, is wrong. It's a level of gaslighting, which is trying to convince someone of your reality, that your reality isn't right. I think there's this just like, I'm not saying that like people don't get it right all the time. Like, I think there's a level of, I think people are a lot more like smart and regulated than maybe what others would like to think. I don't know, in the terms of the body has a natural regulation system. Can we be overwhelmed and over exaggerate? Yes. Can we get events wrong in our head? It's known that the memory can change events in your head. Sometimes you can actually make up events in your head to validate an emotion or a perceived emotion. We can get a little bit mixed in our perceptions, but if you have an overall emotion about something, I think if someone's trying to take that away from you, it's not like valid. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, if you can't go far wrong if you trust yourself. I think it's about, for me, it's a case of trusting in God first, and hoping and like knowing he will guide me, and hoping that I'll be along the right track to be able to trust myself and my instincts. But that's kind of the way I go through it. I'm also learning, I don't know how much I've talked about this on my channel, how perfection is actually comes from a core belief that you're not good enough. I feel like I've had perfectionist issues in the past. I've never been like a full-on perfectionist. I've not been like, I think there's a difference between perfectionism and those people that are actually really like scrutinous about the way they work. I've heard there's different types of females. I'll just say this because it's actually kind of interesting. You get the female that's like super like social and you just feel like it's like you and them against the world. I think that's me, actually. you get the type of girl that you're just like literally in awe of because she's got all of her shit together. Like it's always together. Like, you know, these girls that's got like a fucking bliss room, their hair's on point, their makeup's on point, their outfit's on point. You know what I mean? You just got it going on. Do you know what I mean? And you kind of like are a bit in awe of them, like because they just got their shit together. And there's another one in this toxic with people, but females, but I think it's the second type of people that's not, that they might have a level of perfectionism and that might affect them more because they are quite scrutinous about the way they go through life, but that's just the way they operate. Like, you know, I can't see the inner workings of those people. I don't think they work any harder necessarily than other people, or maybe they do, but I don't think it's a level of negative effect on the mental health. Obviously everyone's got their dispositions. Maybe it is a level that maybe I have a shit tip of a room at times and it doesn't actually bother me that much. I like to keep on top of it, don't get me wrong, but at times things come up and it just becomes a bit messy, and I can actually live with that. Yeah, it does make me a little bit uncomfortable at times. Yeah, but I don't always live in a shit tip. I do try and keep it clean. But yeah, but perfectionism, yeah, it can originate from a sense that you're not good enough. And you're kind of trying to compensate in that area. I'm really focusing on how compensating is very natural through feeling unworthy. Worthiness, I think I've not uploaded a video on this, but the fact of, it's kind of an affirmation sense. I think I've just done a lot of work on emotional childhood healing and all that stuff, and kind of trying to heal the inner child, blah blah. Just the sense that we are worthy as people, like we do like have a place on this planet. We all have free will. We're worthy in God. Like, the fact is we should only live for God anyway, if you ask me, you know, whether you're religious or not. You know, people like are technically, biblically, our brothers and sisters. We don't need to live for other people. My camera is about to overheat. If it does, then whatever, but we can, maybe I'll just stop this video here. We should live for God and for ourselves. If it turns off, I'm just gonna end the video here. So. But yeah, I think I will just probably end it here anyway, but because I feel like sometimes my videos can just go on and you're just like, okay, get the point. But thanks for listening and have a good day. Bye.